This is fantastic, Frank, talking on Periscope about what to do when people start driving you nuts. Now, when you have a traumatic brain injury, it is more, you have a better chance of going off against somebody than anybody else. So I think I am the expert in this, how to handle yourself. The first thing you have to realize is that whatever you say in a moment can't be taken back. But how can you stop your impulsivities from going out there and getting in? Because once you give these words, once you flash out a person, you complain or you say something bad, it's a problem getting it back. However, if you do have a traumatic brain injury like me, there are a couple of caveats about this. The first one is you might not remember that you got the person pissed off at yourself. This happens to me all the time whenever I'm talking to somebody else. I might piss a person off, get them upset with me, and I can't remember until they have to bring it back up. So it becomes a two-way street interaction. So the person you're dealing with, you have to realize they either have to be at a higher level of awareness than you are, and not to be. And if you are working with a person, the last thing you want to be done is reminded that you dished that person or got that person upset. Now, the way that you can kind of control this is that every time it happens, you kind of know it's going to happen. Your blood starts boiling. You can't go. You are ready to blurt something out. So you have like a thermostat. A thermostat tells you when the temperature goes hot, when it goes cold. So you have your own thermostat. First of all, you have to be aware of when you are going to blurt something out like this. And it could be anything. It could be F you. It could be something else. Get the hell out of my life. You're fucking me over or something like that. I don't want to say it. But it could be anything that you are going to say. But when you get the emotion to say that, then you have to realize that there's going to be an aftermath. And you think in the moment that you are going to be justified in talking like this to another person. So what you have to do is, before you say anything, you have to ask yourself a couple questions. The questions have to be, is the juice going to be worth the squeeze? Anybody know what movie that came from? That came from The Girl Next Door. But this is something else. It's, are you going to get the right outcome that you desire? Is a person going to listen to what the hell you have to say? And are you going to take it the right way? Or are you going to kill this relationship? It could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be a worker, it could be a co-worker. I don't care what kind of relationship it is. But it's going to have some kind of repercussions. So the first thing you have to be aware of is when you get the feeling that you're going to say something before you do. And if you do get that feeling, you know this is going to take some practice on your life. Because I used to do this all the time. I used to lash out at people like crazy until finally I started losing friends, losing workers that wouldn't come back. So now what I have to do is every time that I think this is going to happen, that I'm going to be in a person's face. It could be on a text, it could be on email. Emails are easier to do, and texts are easier to do because then you could decide not to send your texts. I've got 500 emails I haven't sent out to people over the past 5 years or something like that. And every time I read them, I can't remember why I was pissed off, why I was upset at the moment. But thank God I didn't send them out, because once you do send them out, they become, you can't take them back. So with text messages or phone calls or Now, phone calls, it depends on if you're going to call up the person or not. If you're going to call them up, you have to make a choice. You have to decide, is it going to be worth the time and effort to spend calling up this person? Or is it going to be worth the time? But in a text message, you might not do it as quickly as you think. But the most important thing to do is to think about this and let the urge pass. And when you go over next day or you watch, the best thing you can do is to write this whatever got you upset down and review that a day later or 2 days later and find out if your relationship, if that was your problem or was their problem. I don't care whose problem it was, but if it is worth your investing any more energy in going ahead with sending that letter out. Does that make sense? My website is www.ffhero.com. I love for you to sign up and receive my inspirational messages there. Go there.